Welcome back to DevDadPlays. This is our first tips and tricks video. I hope you enjoy it. This one's intended for beginning levels 1 through 10, but it should be useful at most any level in the game. The first tip is, when you initially log into the game, do not go straight ahead. Turn around and go down the stairs. At one of the first platforms you come to, you will find this. A plinth that will have a little recording device on top of it that will tell you part of the story from Palworld. And collecting it gets you a good chunk of XP for the beginning of the game. As you continue down the stairs, you'll find this verdant little area that will have one or more chests hidden around it. These are useful. They provide you with gold, arrows, and a copper key, which will be useful for many of the later chests. Also, as you continue down, be sure to collect any wood or stone that you may come across. These not only provide you with resources, but a little shot of XP for you and your pals as well. Once you reach the beach down below, you'll find a small cavern. This is one of many dungeons that you will find throughout the game. I recommend marking each of these locations with whatever symbol you might choose, just to inform you later on of where there are dungeons for you to explore. Up here at the top, above where you initially spawn into the game, will be a lift monk statue, a jade glowing green statue that gives you what's called lift monk energy. This lift monk energy is useful throughout the game. The more of these you acquire, and the more you turn them in at the statues of power, the greater your ability to capture pals will become. Also, up here above spawn, you will find things hidden in these nooks and crannies, like eggs. These eggs are very useful later in the game for giving you pals that normally you would not be able to find or capture. Sometimes the most powerful pals in the game can be found in these eggs. Upon leaving spawn, you will find a fast travel location. These fast travel locations are useful not only for the purpose of moving around the map to any other fast travel location you've found, but for moving to your base, which counts as a fast travel location, and because every time you find and click on one, it grants you one free technology point. Like so. My recommendation to you is to consider your first base to be something of a throwaway base, and just use it as some place to level up your PAL box. All of your PAL box share the same level. One of the first things that you should build in your base is 2 red berry plantations. These are extremely useful for keeping your pals fed and for automating your base. The feed box is an essential part of your base. All of the food that you are feeding your pals will be placed in this. Not necessarily by you, possibly by your harvesting pals. When it comes to your choice of food, I recommend using cooked food, as these improve the sanity of your pals. Even cooked berries provide 1 sanity. Trust me on this. There is no such thing as too many pal spheres. You will use them all, and probably run out precisely when you need one. One of the most frequently asked questions in Palworld is, what pals do I want to get first? The first is the lamb ball. Lamb ball will drop wool, which you can then turn into cloth, which you can then turn into your first set of cloth armor, which not only protects you somewhat in battle, but will allow you to function in the day or at night without having to stay by a campfire. The next pal you should get is Gun Moss. Gun Moss is a derpy little fellow who has one important ability. He can plant seeds in your berry farm. This will save you a huge amount of time, as the planting process is very time consuming. After that, what you want is the Pengullet. The Pengullet is a water type pal who handles the watering of your fields. The next pal you're probably going to want to have is Cativa. Cativa is essential for harvesting your crops, at least at this level. Later on, there's better pals for this process, but Cativa is good enough for the beginning. Capturing pals is an essential part of the game. Not only does it provide you with pals as a workforce and for resource generation, but also it will provide you with experience points, not only for you, but for the pals that are sitting in your inventory, like so. The leveling process is accelerated earlier in the game. The first 10 pals that you capture grant bonus experience, with especially large bonuses when you capture your first of a specific type, your fifth of a specific type, and your 10th of a specific type. Once you reach 10 pals, the XP bonus drops off considerably. But you should keep collecting your pals, and no matter how tempting it is, do not sell them. Every pal that you collect will be useful later in the game for when you are able to finally concentrate their essence into a single pal, increasing their overall star level. The star level, shown right here, acts as a multiplier on the power of the individual pal and can be extremely useful in later boss battles. Speaking of leveling up your pals, the number one way to level up your pals is to keep them in your party, where they will gain XP right along with you, all the way up to whatever level that you happen to be at. But the secondary way to level up your pals is to have them working on your base. Everything they do will give them experience points, which will allow them to level up. The higher their level, the more effective they are in battle, and the better their work at your base. Another recommendation: while you are at your base, always keep one of your pals out. Yeah. The pal will not be idle. It will work at whatever job it is able to do on your base, providing you with resources. Speaking of resources, the most useful resources in the game are the resources of stone, fiber, wood, and paldium. These resources will be useful throughout your experience in Palworld. When you reach level 7, you will get access to 2 buildings that are extremely useful for your pals. That is the logging site and the stone pit. They are right here. These will allow your pals to work and get you stone as well as wood, though they do not give you the secondary resources. However, they also do not place this in your chests where you will have access to it. So you have to go to the individual sites, click Acquire, place them in a nearby chest, which you can do by clicking, or by pressing the R button. The R button will automatically cause anything in your inventory to combine with anything in the chest, like so. Now that we have touched on the Technology tab, it is important to remember that you receive far fewer technology points than you do technologies to research. So skip anything that you do not consider necessary, just so that when you reach something that is necessary, you do not have to wait to acquire it. An important reminder: your base is a fast travel location. So anytime you go up to your PAL box, all you need to do to travel to any fast travel location you have discovered and activated is to click the C button, select where you would like to go, and voila. As a tip, do not place logging sites or stone pits at your secondary bases that you will use as logging sites or as mining locations, as these will be set as a priority for your pals, and they will ignore the resources that you want them to gather. As a bonus tip, this location, 188 by -41, which is displayed down in the lower left-hand corner, is one of the best locations for a secondary base. This location provides you not only with ore, but with coal, both of which are necessary for creating refined metals. And those refined metals are what allow you to make the higher level armors. With that, we conclude our tips and tricks video, and we thank you for watching. And from our family to yours, happy gaming.